I think the most pivotal trick would have been the Ollie. We built on the Ollie, you know, it's basically the foundation of what we do.
That day when you were trying the Ollie, did you have any idea that if you landed it, we would still be talking about it 30 years later?
No.
The one that would stand out to me the most, I would say, is the longest, the highest, the furthest, the sketchiest. Jeremy Wray, the Water Tower.
Most famous is the criteria. It's definitely Jeremy Wray.
Water Tower Ollie.
Jeremy Wray, Ollie from Water Tower to Water Tower. My dad he's an engineer and he works at wastewater treatment plants. So I've kind of could imagine what it was like as a kid.
The Ollie from Water Tower to Water Tower for sure.
Ollie between that gap of death in the middle. I don't know if there's anything more iconic than that as far as the Ollie goes.
Filming of it's just so sick, how he's charging up at it and then the reach and the Ollie,
Probably the most epic looking thing ever. Sturt photo as well.
Jeremy Wray, the Water Tower Gap, just straight death defying.
I don't know if you saw the Fallen video, but I did Ollie. It was like a 15, flat 15 or something. It was really big. That's probably another super famous one. I don't know how many people said that one, but...
Nguyen El Toro, most famous Ollie. He cracked it off.
Nguyen Ollieing the El Toro or something like that, you know, that's crazy. Reese Forbes, my favorite one he did was also in that trick tip video, and he just did it on flat ground over nothing. Even that Davis gap, that's a famous Ollie. I mean, Jamie Thomas Ollied that, which was crazy.
Jamie Thomas is Ollie down some massive stuff.
Danny Wainwright's Ollie, the original high Ollie contest. I was there as a little kid watching it.
Ollieing over something high, you know, Danny Wainwright, Aldrin Garcia, Jake Hayes. I think that's amazing and really cool. But you can't die on that.
The most famous Ollie ever done.
Maybe a Jaws, fifth floor drop.
Jaws. That one he does off an apartment building, the second floor, you know, and he just lands, he kicks out the first one, it just looks like it was painful.
I'm guessing it could be something that Jaws did, Aaron Homoki. He's probably got a few under his belt.
I think I'm going with Jaws, that cover, the Thrasher, that was off those blocks in St. Louis or something.
Or Jamie Thomas's Leap of Faith. Oh, that was a grab.
The most famous Ollie ever done at this point is the Lyon 25. It's unrivaled. If someone's gonna talk about an Ollie, it's the biggest one ever done.
That was a grab.
Can it be Ollie grab? Frankie Hill.
I consider a Ollie grab just kind of extra points.
An Ollie is an Ollie. There's no grab, just straight up.
It's definitely an Ollie. Ollie grabs are Ollies.
The fact that you have to ask the question, is it an Ollie or a grab, is the answer.
A grab is a grab, and an Ollie is an Ollie. Jaws did melon grab down 25 stairs, which is unreal.
I don't take anything away from it. He didn't Ollie it, he melon grabbed it. It's incredible, but he didn't Ollie it.
A lot of people say that your Ollie down the Lyon 25 is the most famous Ollie. What would you say to that?
I would say I didn't do an Ollie, I did a melon grab.
Probably Jamie Thomas with the Leap of Faith, the one where he cracked his board.
Yeah, I mean, true.
That was a grab, and it wasn't landed.
True. I mean, I get asked a lot, do you think you could do the Leap of Faith?
Yeah.
So we'll just say, shout out Corey Duffel. He had some inspiring Ollies to me as well when I was younger.
Yep, and Canton Russell. Had some big ones.
Yep.
Frankie Hill, of course. Yeah,
Frankie
Hill
yep.
with the big, massive mute grab.
Yep.
When that got done, nothing before it was even close, and nothing after it for maybe even close to 10 years. At some point, Thrasher did a countdown of all their different covers and what trick it was. And it turns out the Ollie, by far, had more covers than any other trick.
With your Ollies, is you go the distance. I like taking the drops.
Right, there's two different ways to go, yeah.
Yeah.
I like going fast, and I like going far, and less people can do that.
It's kind of the same thing, just being younger and just going off drops. And I remember specifically going off roofs,
right.
And none of my friends were doing that.
And I was like, oh, I guess less people are doing this. This
Right.
is kind of cool. Like, I'm going to just keep
Absolutely.
doing this.
And I'd say you
Take
pushed
the
it
drop.
further than anyone else had before or after you. You got a special skill for taking and absorbing the impact.
This one was funny because I was trying to do a melon, and the one I landed, for some reason, I just didn't grab, and ended up rolling away clean on this one, and broke my wheel off.
On the one you rode away?
Yeah, you can see it kind of.
And you got walnut over the rail?
Yep, washing the windows.
There was a photo of my brother Jonas ollieing that walnut set.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that my Lyon set is the biggest one and probably the most famous one that I've done. But now, if you want to get into calling that an ollie or a melon grab,
You got to ollie into it. And it's a choice to grab or not, but you have to ollie. So
Okay.
it's an ollie no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, you can ollie and do a melon. You can ollie, do your little nose bone, you know. You can tail grab it. Some people even nose grab it.
Yeah, I've done some nose grabs down some things.
Yeah, you can ollie grab, and that's just a choice at that point. But it's definitely an ollie because you got to ollie into it. Did Fred film Ali Boulala's?
Yeah.
Original one?
Fred filmed Ali's original one. Part of the idea behind it was that he tried the ollie, like that's his. I want to do melon because that's what I like to do. Without French Fred there, this would have not happened. We had to go talk to security because we got kicked out. And we went there and talked to him, told him that I'm a pro skater. And after this was all said and done, he went back to here to the security office with the magazine.
To show him
with the
what you're
cover
doing, yeah,
and a
rad.
box of chocolates and handed it to
Nice.
him, like just saying thank you. The very first time I tried it was a year before and I got hurt. So I had a whole year of thinking about it in my head. And honestly, it did feel like a dream. Oh my God, this moment is happening. Like it's done. I actually cried after I landed it because I was thinking about it for so long. I was like, oh my God, it's done.
It must have been such a relief.
I personally feel like that the ollie down the Louisville set was kind of harder in a weird way, just because when you grab your board, you're
locked in.
You're locked in, you're ready to go.
Right.
You know you're going to stick on your board. And I think that the Louisville one was definitely my biggest ollie, no grab. We actually originally went there because David Loy wanted to try to skate the rail. I was just like, yeah, I'll ollie the set, and then saw that, and I was like, yeah, I'll try to go off this. I remember just trying to hype up David, just like trying to get him, just because he wasn't doing the rail, and I was like, dude, what if I ollie the set? Like, will that get you hyped? And then it was pretty narrow up there too, so it was kind of scary, like pushing along that, because on that other side it was just a drop. And I ended up like ripping my pants like down like from my butt to my knee, and then so I just like didn't have any pants.
Yeah,
And then
so you had to go back.
Fast forward a little bit, and Joe Homoki, who's the one who shot the photo, rest in peace. Somehow Andrew Reynolds saw it, and Reynolds is like, "That's the biggest ollie ever. He should go back and land that." So we ended up planning a trip back just to go do that.
Rad.
And I don't think it was that many tries. I think it was like 4 or 5 tries. There was this ship going right there, and I remember the filmer was like, "Hey, there's a ship coming.
Like,
Try
do it
to
now,
land it.
Try to land it
It
now.
looks gonna look really cool." And so
He's not wrong.
So I think that kind of helped too. And also there's a family right there. The old knees just buckled inward and just held on.
We might actually be able to confirm that's the highest ollie ever done, right?
I don't know the exact measurements of that one, but I just remember that one definitely had a lot of hang time for sure. That one was big.
Because even going down the stairs there is big. And then that's the wall above the stairs, right? So
Yep. And then David ended up lip sliding the rail, and so
he went back with you too?
Yeah,
Rad.
he went back with me too.
That's sick.
So we ended up just whatever. It was a really good day. When you do ollie things like in the bigger realm, do you tend to do an ollie as high as you can, or do you just kind of keep it a level?
That
ollie?
depends, because like some of the triple set, that one was a challenge because you had to ollie really far, and the only way to ollie that far is to ollie as high and as far as you can, and level it out as high as you can, and let your momentum carry you the rest of the way. The trickiest part of that one was getting the speed.
Yeah, that triple set ollie, I mean, I've looked at that triple set and I've just been like, this is way bigger than I imagined.
I think on that one, I'd only get one push.
Jeez.
So you have to run as fast as you can, throw it down, get one push, and however your front foot landed, that's pretty much how you're gonna ollie. And for me, for the distance ones, I would actually count it out from the top stair where I'm leaving. I knew I could go out about 15 feet and be even with where I started if I have all the speed I need.
It's funny you say that you're able, like, you know, you could go 15 feet out.
Right.
Because I always say that 15 feet for me, dropping is the max.
Yeah.
That's the max. After 15 feet, the back starts to hurt. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy too, this quadruple set. I can say I've never ollied a quadruple set. And that's pretty sick, going over the rail. And here's the thing too that I was talking about. It seems like you had a really good big ollie on that one. Like that one
was
seemed like
right up there with the limit of how far you can go.
So if you guys had to narrow it down, what would you say is the most famous ollie?
The most famous landed ollie?
I would like to say that it is your ollie across the
Water Tower Gap.
Water Tower Gap.
I just had it on my radar. I'd driven by it enough times and decided it was time. And I knew I could do it, but it still had to be done. You know, knowing you can do something is one thing, but actually going through the motions and doing it is a different.
Most impressive about that ollie was that you could die doing that. Like the ones that I do, I know I'm not going to die. That one has the death factor to it.
I called up Sturt and I was going to tell him about the spot. I said, I got a spot. I want you to check it out and see what you think. His first question was, is the possibility of death involved? And I was like, well, actually on this one, there is. And he said, okay, I'll be right there. And I had to call Ty Evans because he was gonna meet up with me that day to film the starting point video for Transworld.
Okay.
We were doing all the flat ground tricks. So I just had to tell Ty, hey, do you mind if we take a detour real quick before we do the flat ground stuff? I gotta film something. And then he's like, yeah, no problem, let's go check it out. He had no idea what he was getting into.
He didn't even know. I just want to know if it was sketchier to ollie it or sketchier to run and jump across it.
Running and jumping it is way scarier mentally because you have to run and time your steps. And as you get closer to the edge, you got to make sure your steps are right.
Yeah.
Because you got to step as close to the edge as possible to get that long jump. If you step like a foot back, you got to jump a foot further. That's probably harder to navigate than like pushing fast on a skateboard and hitting your tail at the right time.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God, that is so sketch to me.
When it's funny, now parkour people have gone there and run and jumped it too.
Oh, really?
There was a guy named Nate Weston, and he did a flip over it.
There was a dude that fucking front flipped the Lyon set.
Really?
His name was Dom Tomato.
This thing? I know the Dom Tomato guy.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy. How many tries did it take you?
It was 5 tries.
Okay.
So every time I didn't make it, I had to run and jump back. A lot of people talk about how late the tail hits. By the time the tail hits, my wheels are almost already off.
Right.
But that's when you're going that fast, all the momentum's carrying through, and just like, I'm trying to hit the tail the last second. And I tried to take my last push as far back as I could to get set up.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't get my foot on right, I was gonna have to jump it anyway. So whether I got a good ollie or whether I jumped off my board, I was gonna have to try to clear it with my body.
Right.
Once I'm going that fast.
Yeah.
So it was definitely sketchy, but I was ready for it. And pretty much everything I had skated and learned and built up to was building up to being able to do this. So that's why I'm glad that no one else has tried this thing, because someone just going in like, okay, now I'm going to make a name for myself and I'm going to try this thing.
Yeah, go try
they might not have done all the homework to get there.
Right,
You know? And it's sketchy.
for sure.
I wouldn't want someone else to get hurt on this thing. And then turns out that photo got sent up to Thrasher in the same envelope with the Danny Way jumping out of the helicopter. Sturt wasn't invited to that photo shoot. That was a whole Transworld shoot. So he went there in complete disguise, shot it from a distance, and then developed the photos the same day and sent them off to Thrasher so they could be in Thrasher before they got to Transworld.
That is
wild. So my Ollie, the Water Tower, was just a bonus in that envelope. I had the board from the Water Tower Ollie in my garage, but I think someone just came through and needed a board and just chose like the one that was skated the least.
Yeah.
And just didn't know what they grabbed.
Oh man.
So
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Damn it.
There you have it. water tower in front of the water tower. Maybe 27 years or so later.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy, for freaking all the ollies you've done and inspiring me to skate the way that I have. And like I said, I'll never forget that Water Tower Ollie. That was very big inspiration to me for what you've done.
It's cool to see you grab that torch and run with it and go off the highest stuff you could find. And man,
Thank
I'm sure you inspired more generations behind us. So we'll see who steps up. Stay safe out there, people.